Everyone, we'll go ahead and call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Governing Board of Sahuarita Unified School District to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to roll call. Ms. Palacios.
Governing Board President, Dr. John Sparks.
Present.
Governing Board Clerk, Mr. Anthony Bruno.
Present.
Governing Board Member, Mrs. Amy Petersmark, absent. Governing Board Member, Mrs. Denise Reese. Here. Governing Board Member, Mr. Raul Rodriguez.
Present.
District Administration Superintendent, Dr. Manuel Valenzuela.
Present.
Chief Financial Officer, Mrs. Lisette Huey, absent. Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Darlene Robinson.
Present.
Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Scott Downs.
Here.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the approval of the agendas for 7/28/26 today. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. President Sparks, members of the board, I would recommend this evening your approval of the agenda as it was revised.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion about the revised agenda? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move on to approval of the minutes for June 24th board meeting. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Thank you, President Sparks, members of the board. This evening in your packet, you have draft copies of the minutes from the regularly scheduled meeting of the board way back on June 24th, 2026. And after your review and consideration, I do recommend approval at this time.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. Go ahead and move on to Dr. Valenzuela's second favorite part of any agenda, the superintendent's report.
The superintendent's report, and as I've said before, one would think that in the middle of summer, there would be a relatively nominal report. There are lots of exciting things to share this evening, and I'll try and provide a concise update of a couple of them. First of all, if you walk around any of our campuses, you would see tangible indicators that we are working with diligence, intentionality, and resolve to deliver on our promises, honoring our trust to the community in the investments that they've made through the most recent bond package. And so you see up here on the board, this is a project that's currently underway at Link. They are receiving new developmentally appropriate playground structures and courtyard space, which was one of the board's priorities in this most recent bond package. I believe this is also very interesting. This is a brand new playground structure. I believe it's specifically located in the special education space and designed with those considerations in mind in terms of meeting individualized needs.
Very nice. And colorful.
Oh, there we go. If you don't recognize that, that is the SPS gym. Minus the orange carpet, which has been totally stripped. It's in process of renovation. This phase of the restoration of the gym is expected to be done in time for the start of the school year, and then shortly thereafter we'll begin the conversion of some space over there to be a fully self-contained cafeteria space with a warming kitchen and eating space for the students so they don't have to walk all the way up here, and that's slated for January. That's the goal, is to get that done by January. This is neat. This is a renovation and improvement in the space at Sahuarita High School. Of course, you can see the science, the laboratory benches and the counters, the millwork, the cabinetry, and also the flooring, which was most recently done this summer as well. And I think you see projects affiliated with the bond and different projects at different schools, again, in honoring the trust of our community in delivering on those projects. This is exciting. This is the it says Walden Grove Fine Arts, but I just want to remind you this is the district, I assume, Scott, unless I'm looking at a different space, this is the Sahuarita Performing Arts Center on the campus of Walden Grove High School. Whenever you do a project, it's always nice to see walls start to go up. And this project is full speed. Again, it's going to be a performing arts space of almost 500 people. I think it's 475. It'll be a great asset to our entire community, our school community. We are, to a significant degree, a fine arts-centric district, and this will add in meeting that need. And not just the school, but also the greater community, which these resources are the community's resources. On the trail, is that the courtyard space, Scott? North Park. Okay, so is this the partnership with the town? Yes, this is the partnership with the town where we're splitting the costs to deliver more together than we could apart and individually. It's going to be a brand new state-of-the-art playground space in terms of the flooring, the surface, the safety features, the structures itself, and of course a nice canopy to protect from the kind of sun like the sun that we've had in recent days and including today. So very excited there. Is that it? Okay, we'll hold on that. We'll hold on that one because my next item is, and I know that the members of our board are public servants and they are, in my opinion, very humble people. So they will not shout out and brag in the way that I will, but I just wanted to thank Ms. Reese and Dr. Sparks for their additional example of service through their actions in accompanying our band, our Sahuarita High School marching band, as they went on a national stage to represent us, our state, our country, in the celebration of America's 250th birthday. It's a tremendous honor. I think it's a memory these kids will have forever. It was not easy, right? I think it was the American writer Albert Hubbard that said, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. It was probably more popularized by the self-help public speaker trainer Dale Carnegie, who said the same words. Well, it was a challenge, you know. For the last 2 years, we've been talking about the great honor of going to Philadelphia to be part of this celebration. We've been talking, I don't know how many times, Denise, about how are we going to raise $200,000? How are we going to get them there? Preparing for this experience, practicing. I know the students and Director Garland and his team and parents, it's been reflective of the spirit of community that I believe defines us. But then another American writer, Alan Saunders, said, life is what happens when you make other plans. That one was more popularized in 1980. I think it was a song by John Lennon. Life is what happens. So on July 3rd, as I'm preparing to watch our Mustangs on a national stage at my computer, trying to find the right YouTube news channel link, I texted Denise and John to verify, and John very diligently said, in case you haven't heard, it's been canceled. And I about fell out of my chair, but you know what? I've always known this would be a transformational experience for our young people, and I was so grateful for our parents, our community, our teachers, Director Garland, our administrators, everybody for rallying behind these students and giving them this opportunity. I didn't realize that it would still be that transformational experience, just in a different way. Because if you think about your own life, you will face adversity, you will face challenges as these young people who are, many of them, almost adults. What a lesson for life, that when you're faced with adversity, how are you going to handle it? Are you going to cower? Are you going to fall? Are you going to melt? Are you going to become rigid and fearful? Or are you going to turn around and pivot and find solutions and find a different way to advance the purpose for which you went? Whether you have to go to local news stations or visit the local hotel where you're staying and make connections and deal with the 100-degree, 50% humidity or more, whatever it was. And they got multiple performances with including with another school from another state. They were mentioned multiple times on the news station. Our people shined very, very brightly with their music, with their positivity, with their resilience, with their words. I saw Miss Magnuson on the local TV, which local in Philly, remember Philly's like the 5th or 6th biggest city in the United States. And they're singing the songs of Sahuarita. The anchor could barely pronounce Sahuarita, but they know who we are because we were that group that went all the way from Arizona, and we're not going to be deterred by a little adversity. Miss Magnuson was there. I know that Dr. Sparks and his wife in their professional roles helped to keep the kids healthy, hydrated, well, dealing with first aid and keeping the logistics going. Denise, I know it was frustrating to make it happen, but through a true Sahuarita Wins effort, they had an experience that I think all of us can be very, very proud of. And I have no doubt that these young people at the end of the day will never forget and will probably tell their kids and grandkids about. So I just want to express gratitude for the type of values and culture that represents who we are, because it's that spirit of public education and our community that made this possible. So I say thank you, and I'll yield the floor back to you, President Sparks. Oh, we want to watch the video. Let's do that. It was up there, yes.
Because of today's parade and the city being canceled, a number of performers who traveled to the city from all over the country were forced to change their plans.
Yeah, kind of disappointing. The Pulaski High School Red Raider Marching Band from Wisconsin and the Sahuarita Mustang Marching Band from Arizona were both set to participate. When Action News heard about what happened, we invited them to our studios right here in Winfield Heights to come together and join forces to perform. Terrific.
They sounded great. I'm glad they had a chance to actually perform.
A moment to shine.
Yeah.
Thank you for your words. They're always inspirational. And we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is Governing Board's report. Ms. Reese.
So as everyone already knows, yes, I was in Philadelphia and New York City with the Sahuarita Mustang Marching Band. Dr. Valenzuela has done an amazing job of playing up that experience or indicating that experience for the kids. The biggest thing that I want to do tonight is actually put out another shout out to everyone who came together from the community, from the state, to help us get there. That process was definitely a labor of love, and don't belabor the labor part of that, but it was definitely, we're just supremely grateful for all of the outpouring of support that we received, and I still get teary when I start thinking about it. Like there's still a lot of emotion there about what we were able to accomplish in such a very, very, very short amount of time and be able to get the kids there. And so we're just super appreciative, and thank you again so much for your support.
Thank you very much. Mr. Rodriguez.
I just want to say thank you to John and Denise for going with the band, being there to support them, and on behalf of the board. I think that was great. Thank you so much.
Okay. Mr. Bruno.
As an old band geek, I have to tell you, I was amazed at the community, amazed at the two of you, the energy that went out to getting this all together. And I have to ask, how did you move all those instruments?
We were extremely fortunate in that we had a freshman member of the band whose parent stepped forward and indicated that he had a trailer and a vehicle that could haul that trailer. The trailer that he had is longer than the trailers that the band owns. He was willing to do the long haul. His child actually has some kind of a hearing situation that makes flying very difficult for him. So he was super excited to get to spend that extended amount of time with his own child going back. And so we are unbelievably grateful to the Askren family, specifically Carl Askren, for taking on that particular chore for this event. And he was absolutely amazing. He was able to custom fit braces and a few other things on the inside of his trailer to where we didn't have Shako boxes flying all over trailers, and we were able to secure uniforms on rolling racks to where they weren't rolling all over the place. We were able to secure all of the instruments in their cases on the trailer. It was truly awesome in what he was able to do. So we're incredibly, incredibly grateful to the Askren family.
I will say I had images of you at the back of a plane pushing a big drum in with everything else.
That was our original plan. Fortunately or unfortunately, United Airlines doesn't have a program for setting that up super effective. And they were like, yeah, you can send it standby. We have no idea what it would get there. And we went, no, that's not going to work. So we started looking for alternatives at that point, and then Mr. Askren stepped in and was able to help us out.
Well, I would just like to thank you and all the volunteers. It's amazing that our kids got to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think I would just like to add on top of that all, really grateful for Mr. Rob Royal, the reporter from WPVI TV Philadelphia, that I really stepped up. I think I have this image of Stephanie Magnuson jumping over a fence to find someone at the ABC affiliate to work with us. And she did literally work her way in that room and happened to run into him. He's like, oh, my son is a Wildcat, go Cats. And set that whole event up. And, really grateful for that, organization, ABC to step up and to really give those kids an opportunity. And I got to work today, and the wonderful woman who greets all the children that come to that practice with love and kindness said to me, she goes, oh, you didn't get to march. And I said, oh, it was not a lost opportunity. I think they learned much about how the world works. When things don't always go your way, there are opportunities you can push for and find. And so just grateful for everybody involved, for all the volunteers in the community, and really was kind of I think a monumental event. Those children won't ever be far from their memory, that trip to Philadelphia. And it was hot. I would have to admit that,
Or as Mr. Garland lovingly said, the heat wasn't bothering us. The constantly being wet was definitely an adjustment that we had to come up with.
I would agree. Everybody would be like, oh, you're from Arizona, you're used to the heat. We're used to the heat with like 2% humidity. So, yeah, it was a great trip. But appreciative to all the community and their support financially. And it was not a wasted trip. It was an exceptional experience. And to watch those young people, whether it be walking through the 9/11 memorial that they visited, and these kids were not alive when that took place, and to have that experience, and to hear one of the leaders kind of say, hey, you might see some people today, they're tearful, that have a lot of emotion, because that was a really impactful day for many of us that are older. And then to see him at the top of the Empire State Building, and thankfully we got out about 30 minutes before the climbers made it to the top, because they locked the building down, so we did not get trapped in the Empire State Building. But lots of really good experiences. And to be in downtown New York is, if you've never visited New York City, it's one of those places. It's an experience. And anyway, it was really good. On top of the patriotic, participate in band, play at the Liberty Bell grounds, and just really cool. So I think that it was fun, and to come home and to see more and more being built is super exciting. So that's all I have to say, but appreciate everybody's support. So we'll go ahead and move on to, we have no present people for call to public, correct? Okay, thank you very much. Anybody who submits into the online system will be entered into the public record. We'll go ahead and move on to, I think the next item on the agenda is item 9, correct? Am I not skipping anything, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the ASBA Delegate Assembly, and I'll just take over.
Yes, sir.
Unless you want me to, unless you have a comment.
No, sir.
Okay. So this is that time of the year when, as a board, we need to select a delegate to represent the district as an ASBA member, and we select a delegate and an alternative. And I don't know, I'll leave that open to anybody, if anybody would like to make a motion to who we might want to make do that, ask to do that.
Well, and just really quickly, in case the rest of you hadn't had a chance to look at it, they did change the timing of the delegate
Yes.
assembly this year. So it is on Wednesday morning, not on Saturday morning during the law conference. So if that changes anything for anyone, then that's something we need to take into consideration.
And work has me out of town
Oh,
during the,
okay,
so I will not be attending.
Okay.
okay.
So I will be present
Yeah, I will also. be
Wednesday
present.
morning, so will Denise. Will you be there Wednesday morning, Raul, or do you not know yet? Wednesday morning. Would one of you like to be the delegate? I don't mind being the backup, unless you really want me. You're going to volunteer for backup.
I don't mind being the delegate. Although, with that being said, I know that Amy indicated some interest last year as well. I have not had a chance to reach out to her. So what I would like to do, if it is possible, and Ms. Palacios, please correct me if I'm way off base, but can we name Amy tentatively until somebody can touch base with her? And then if not, then I will serve as the, then I can serve as the primary and John as the alternate and go from there.
Or
Okay.
we can make Raul the alternate.
Oh, the alternate, sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, yeah, Raul is the alternate.
Since he volunteered.
Yes, absolutely.
So then, is that a motion to delegate, to elect Amy
Amy.
to be the delegate? If Amy is unable to do that, you will step in as the primary delegate, and
Yes.
Raul can be the alternate.
Yeah.
And I could be a third alternate if necessary.
I'll second that motion.
Okay? All those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Thank you very much. I think that's a big deal. I don't think, ASBA represents, is the largest school representation body from a school board perspective in the state. And so that delegate votes on the agenda for the next year, both political and kind of moves the body forward. So it's an important role. So then, I don't think there are any other things until now we get to the consent agenda.
Yes, sir.
And we do have a young person in the audience today watching his civic board process, which is really cool for Boy Scouts. That's a part of a merit badge. I think it's really cool. And I did tell him it was a very boring meeting, although we did have a great video.
We did.
Yeah. So the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Dr. Valenzuela.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sparks. As you alluded, this is an item that allows the board to approve matters of a routine nature, and this entire section of the agenda can be approved in one motion. And this evening, I do, as usual, recommend approval of the consent agenda in its entirety.
Thank you very much. We have a recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion about the consent agenda? Okay, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much. We will go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is item number 12, any possible future agenda items any board member would like to bring forward at this time. And I think, why I put that out there often, it's no. I think maybe the public should know. We put that on there quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
To give, one of the processes about being on a public board is, while the agenda is generally set by the board president and the superintendent, we always want to give a space if for some reason a board member doesn't feel like they're being heard or said, they have an opportunity to request items to be on the agenda. And that's kind of why that's there. And it's been utilized, or sometimes people bring stuff up, like, hey, let's talk about this. We haven't really brought it up. So it's just an opportunity for the whole board to have a spot to kind of talk about future agenda items that they feel are necessary. So I don't know, we use it and it's always there, and most of the time it's no, but it just gives us space. I think that's really what it is to give opportunity for everybody to feel heard and seen.
Yes, sir.
So then we'll go ahead and move on to the next item, which is establishing the next meeting, which will be, I believe, here, or will it be back in the district auditorium?
Scott, I would defer to you, sir.
Yes.
Yes. We will be back in the district auditorium in a brand-new lighted, painted, seated,
Updated, everything.
updated.
The main auditorium still may be having some final touches, but we will be able to occupy Pod B.
The Pod B will be ready. Very cool. Well, I'm super
Yay.
excited.
Another sign
thrones
of
in there now?
progress. Thank you, Mr. Downs.
Very cool. I'm excited. I think, when we did the big solar and light and water renovation a few years back, that building was lights were not renovated because they're very different. They're not lights like you have in hallways and buildings. And so I'm super excited to see. I can imagine the power bill before and after will be markedly different.
Yeah, Mr. Evan, who runs it, the hallway that goes down the side behind Pod A, he says with the walls painted and the bright lights, it looks like a totally different hallway.
Very
Oh, wow,
cool.
That's great.
Bright and shiny and sunshine.
Very exciting.
We have leather recliners now, too.
Leather recliners?
Yeah.
Did they shake when the music,
Speakers, surround sound.
Cup holders.
Cup holders, feet lifts, Roadhouse style.
You got it.
Very cool. So that will be August 12th, 2026 in the regular location. No executive session today, and may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
Jinx.
No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Appreciate it.